Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video I have a PC build for you techies out there. This PC build is going to be very similar to my, except for some components that are better. If you have that much money you can spend on your PC, spend it, because these are great upgrades to my PC. And it's basically meant for gaming, productivity, so video editing, Photoshop, etc. And will cost around $1,400. So let's get right into the build. For the CPU I went with the Core i5-6600K. It has 4 cores, 4 threads. It's Skylake, which means better overclockability and lower temperatures. Its stock speed is 3.5 GHz, turbo 3.9 GHz, and you can easily overclock it to 4.7 GHz. Its price is around $260. You must take in that it's Christmas now and some prices are lower that through the year. But yeah, you can exchange it for an i7-6700K if you need more processing power for productivity, Photoshop, Premiere, etc. And yeah, that's basically it. It's a great CPU. The motherboard was a tough choice, but finally I decided to go with the Asus Maximus 8 Hero, which has great features, all the Asus exclusives, and great aesthetics, which do carry in a gaming system usually. Well, it's up to the user, but it has all the features of a regular Z170 motherboard, including RGB LED in the chipset heatsink, the USB 3.1 Type-C port, a nice I/O shroud on top of it, and it's all matte black and titanium finished. So it has 3 PCI Express lines and 4 DDR4 lines, which support up to 3800 MHz speeds. It's great for overclocking because it has so many chokes, and it's basically made for overclocking. You can choose the Ranger if you want to, but that one doesn't have this nice aesthetics and some features are missing, but it's a great board overall. For the RAM I've chosen the Kingston HyperX Fury DDR4 because it's great RAM for a reasonable price. You can even go with the G-Skill Trident Z. It has that one has better aesthetics, but it's a little bit higher priced. But this one has all the features you need. The speed, it doesn't really matter, and the price differences aren't so big. So yeah, I recommend 8 GB, but you can even go with 4 if you want to. For the graphics I went with the GTX 970 Strix edition from Asus because it has 4 gigs of RAM, and that's all you need basically for any game out there today. And it has this really cool 0 decibel technology from Asus, which means that the fans don't even spin until the GPU reaches the temperature of 60 degrees Celsius, and even when they turn on they are very dead silent. The PSU was a tough choice too, but at the end I finally chosen the Corsair CS650M because it's semi-modular, its fans don't even reach 25 decibels, so it's very quiet. It has 80+ gold efficiency rating. And yeah, 650 watts, it's usually enough for this kind of system. If you plan on upgrading later on, you should go with something like 750 watt or even 800 watt. But for this specs, it's enough. The case wasn't even such a hard choice, because when I first laid my eyes on this one, the NZXT Noctis 450, I knew this one is the one I want, because it has great aesthetics, so it matches the motherboard and the graphics card. It has gamer design, so the internals are the same as in the H440, which was one of the most famous cases. It has red underglow lighting, which I really love, and it comes pre-installed with 4 fans, so it has maximum airflow and great functions as well. For the cooler, I have chosen the NZXT Kraken X61 because it's a great cooler. If you want to go with an air cooler, you can go with the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo, which is one of the most famous coolers in the world, but it won't give you such great overclocking capabilities as this one, and it has great reputation. I don't think there are any reports of any water damage, leaking, just some reports of clicking noise in the pump, but leave that aside. It's really a great cooler. It also has RGB lights in the pump shell, so yeah, it's really good. Great SSD choice is the Samsung 850 Evo. I have chosen the 256 GB, but you can go with 120 GB or even 480 GB version. But for most gamers, 256 GB is enough to hold their games. There's nothing else to talk about this. So yeah, a pretty good SSD for a reasonable price, good read and write speeds. So yeah. For the last component, and that is the HD, I have chosen the 1TB WD Blue. You can go with the WD Black or Purple or any of that damn colors. But this one is, in my opinion, one of the best. The price to performance ratio. And yeah, there's not much to talk about this hard drive. It's well known. If you want, you can buy about a terabyte or whatever size you need SSD and put your all games and the system and any of your downloads, files, etc. on that SSD, and you won't need HD. But in my opinion, most people have a smaller SSD in their system and then a bigger HDD. So that wraps it up for this December build. Please like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.